Hey Trey, I got a quick question for you.
What's that?
Have you ever been to Philly?
I've been to Philly once.
You've been to Philly? What'd you think about it?
It's a dirty ass city.
Dirty ass.
So no, I went to Philly, and I went to Geno's, the
Okay.
Philly cheesesteak place, and it
Yeah.
was across the street from another place. I forgot the name of it. I forgot what it's called or whatever it is. The other place across the street was better. But everybody in Philly was telling me that I should go, I guess to the hood, to the south side or something like that. But like
For the cheesesteak or just in general?
nah, for the cheesesteak. For the cheesesteak.
Oh.
But
Never really understood. I know some people like that who feel like every city they go to, they got to go to the hood.
mm, I like to go to those areas to see if you can find some good food.
Sure.
Usually like the best like soul food is gonna be on that side. But no,
I
no.
got you.
But I didn't do that in Philly. It was a quick trip. It was a really dirty city. I didn't even want to spend a night. I decided to keep driving through. Uh Filthy. It really was filthy. It was like I saw rats eating cheese, steaks
Hoagies. Is
at
that
the
what they call them?
at the counter. And of course
Yeah,
I
I had a I guess a similar experience. Not, it wasn't terrible, but it was just like, man,
yeah,
like I don't really have to come back here again. That's how I felt.
it's not really a cool city at all.
Sixth Street was very underwhelming.
I don't think anybody has ever said, man, let's go on a vacation to Philadelphia.
That's true. I mean,
Like
their bell is broken.
yeah,
Their hero boxer gets beat up.
yeah. Ben Simmons leaves them.
Ben Simmons leaves them. They get James Harden. He seems to like it there though.
Big James though,
Big James.
not little James, Big James.
Big James. Big James. Big James. But
Yeah.
Philly,
And when I say
no.
big, I don't mean like as in the compliment, like fat.
I got you. I
Gotcha.
understand.
Okay.
I understand. I think we got the same similar sentiments of Philly.
It's a horrible
And I know
city.
they don't really care for us, but that's all right. And one thing I keep hearing from these Philly fans, I got one of my close partners out here from Philly. I hear the same rhetoric.
What's that?
We want Dallas. Hey, we pulling up. We pulling up. 7:20 Central Time, 8:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We pulling up to Link Stadium. They better bring their John. They better bring their young bull. They better bring Meek. Uzi Vert. Cause we coming to see about them.
Go come see you.
We on the way.
We're gonna knock on your door.
The way. We are on the way. We gonna get into. We gonna knock.
We're gonna kick in your door.
Let us in.
Mike
Let
is
us
here.
in.
Mike is here.
Cannot wait. I cannot wait. We're going to get into it all on a new edition of SportzAttic. I'm your host, Rod Guy, with my boy Trey.
We back.
We back. Please, you can follow us on all platforms, man. Name them. Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Trey, you always got to help me. It's all over the place. Instagram.
Google Podcasts.
Hey, you can find us wherever you find us. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe.
Facebook, Twitter,
hey, man, Facebook, Yelp,
Bleacher Report,
LinkedIn.
Hey,
we everywhere. You're probably gonna find this result on Sunday night across all platforms of what we about to go do to them Eagles. That's a fact.
So obviously, the Eagles is the team in the division that I hate the most.
You expressed this, yeah.
I told you this.
Green.
Dookie green. The colors are Dookie green, and their symbol is, I guess, the American bald eagle. I don't know. I'm excited for Philly week. I couldn't wait to get to this point to where we can finally talk about it.
Oh yeah,
Sunday night, It looks like it's gonna be Cooper Rush. But before we get into the Philly preview, Ryan, what
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask you was:
Sure.
is Mike McCarthy Coach of the Year candidate?
Hey man, he doing his goddamn job. Hey, and to backdoor off of that, I hadn't seen the stats that came across my screen the other day of how many games he's actually coached without that, with a backup quarterback, and has been winning. Has been
Yes.
winning, and that
Yes.
is a hell of a coaching job. A lot of teams, you lose your starting left tackle, who's like a good left tackle, and
Right.
your starting quarterback,
Speak on it.
you probably end up in the lottery next year.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of teams just be like, it's over with. You know what I'm saying? Any extended period
Mm-hmm.
of time missed from a good left tackle and a starting
Mm-hmm.
quarterback that's making some serious cash, the season's over. So man, you can't do nothing but tip your hat off to him. Like this is what a rebound with your job on the line, your name in the news every week. They wanted to get you out of here for Kellen previous, this past off season. No, Kellen had a pretty rough ending to the season, but they wanted to originally earlier that
Right.
season. Then it was talks about Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Then you hear about Sean Payton. All that
Mm-hmm.
all that chatter, man, and he has really come out and kind of kept the team forget on course, man. They are ascending with a backup quarterback named Cooper Rush,
Mm-hmm.
and
4-0.
so Mike is definitely in the running at this point in the season for Coach of the Year, man. So hats off to Mike. Definitely got to give him his credit for that.
Nah, I gotta echo your sentiments, man. I always been the one guy between our circle of friends who for sure always felt confident in the Mike McCarthy hire. Um, I know he gets a lot of flack. He's always in the media um, in a negative light, as if someone needs to replace him, as if he's not doing a good job. His first year in Dallas in 2020, COVID struck. He
Mm-hmm.
didn't he didn't get a full he didn't get any OTAs that offseason. Barely had a reduced training camp. Dak ended up getting hurt.
Yeah.
He ends that season at 6-10 without a starting quarterback because Dak was technically 1-4 at the point in
Mm-hmm.
time before his injury. He goes 6-10 with Danucci playing and Andy Dalton and Cooper Rush got a. Did Cooper Rush play that year? I'm not sure if Cooper Rush played that. No, because he's undefeated. No, he did play. Cooper Rush won a game that year. Was that year?
Was it the one against Minnesota? That was last
No,
year.
that was
I, I,
last
I
year.
don't I
So
don't
yeah, I
think
guess.
Cooper's played before that,
Okay, yeah. So you're right. So
or
Cooper
he
Rush,
hasn't started. We talk about him being a starting quarterback.
right? Well, I think Ben DiNucci. I know Ben DiNucci played some games, but the point is, um, he went 6-10 without a starting quarterback, and when you get Dak back last year, we go 12-5. And we played an unfortunate game in the playoffs, but here we are again.
Mm-hmm.
You lose your first your starting quarterback, and you go 4-0 with the backup. I mean, and not to mention the pressure that he's under every day. They're
Yeah,
talking about how hot the seat is. He might
yeah.
as well be standing up in a goddamn pot with gumbo just boiling.
Hey,
But hats off to Mike McCarthy. I definitely feel like he could be a Coach of the Year candidate.
he could
Um,
be.
I think that his name should come up. I mean, I think the improvement, like you said, no left tackle, uh, really no receiving core. I mean, Michael Gallup just came back last week or a week before that. So hats off to Mike McCarthy. He's doing a great job this year. Um,
Absolutely.
but with the look of the landscape in the NFC, Ryan, I can't help but you know look at the other teams in the NFC, other NFC East NFC contenders.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really see,
It's
anybody
wide
that I'm
open.
scared of. I think it's
It's wide
wide open.
open. It
What are
is,
your
and
what are your thoughts on that?
it really hasn't felt that way in quite some time. Before Devontae left Green Bay, they were always like right there that you knew that's going to be a tough out. Um, Tom in the Bucks, their weapons have kind of been in and out of the lineup, so you haven't really felt that they've been at full strength. But again, you you haven't seen them this year and be like they're unbeatable. They have a really good defense, but so do we. You know what I mean? So when you look across the board of the teams that you would consider top teams, I think I maybe have a little bit of a little towards the 4-1 Vikings, just because the game that I literally sat there and watched is when they got dogged by the Eagles.
Right.
So clearly, sitting at 4-1, they're playing some good ball overall. But the one game I saw, it wasn't pretty. So maybe that's as the season continues to flesh out, maybe teams will continue to obviously rise to the top, where you'll kind of see these are like the handful of teams that really got a shot, unless somebody were to just get hot. But now, man, I definitely look across the NFC and don't feel like this is just a runaway. I would have to give it to Philly that they've played the most kind of consistent ball. They haven't had the toughest schedule to this point, but at the end of the day, you got to beat who's in front of you.
Right.
And they've kind of been up and down, playing like a half of really good football and a half of not so good football. Another team makes a run and makes it a close game.
Right.
So I will have to give it to Philly at this point as being, if you want to, they're 5-0 and being really impressive doing it. So this is going to be obviously a real big barometer stick for us this weekend to see where we stack against undoubtedly one of the most talented and best teams in the NFC so far.
So when I look at it, Ryan, I look at it from a little bit of different perspective from you. I do agree with your assessment again, which I hate to keep agreeing with you, but I think you're speaking gospel today. I mean, like Philly, I believe, is the biggest test in the NFC. And luckily they're in our division, so we get two opportunities to play them. Now, I'm not sure if Dak is going to be able to play this weekend. Based on the reports, I'm not sure he's going to do it.
Yeah.
But I just looking up, preparing for this podcast or this taping. I realized that Dak actually threw 5 touchdowns against them in the game last year. He played 295 yards. So I mean, we get an opportunity to play Philly 2 times this year, which is a benefit to us. But beyond Philly, I'm looking at the whole NFC, and because I feel like it's wide open, I think now's the time for Jerry and Steven to write that check that they said that he would gladly write
to go for it.
And what I mean is, 2 years ago, I mean, Jared Goff went to the Super Bowl with the Rams, and at some point, the Rams said, "Hey, we got to get better." So they made a trade for Matt Stafford, and last year the season was going along, and I think that they were doing I'm pretty sure they were having a decent season, and somebody said, "Hey, let's go all in," and they went and traded for Von Miller, and then they went and traded for OBJ.
Yep.
And traded for those dudes, put them over the top, and it ensured that they had the best team in the NFL, and they ended up winning the Super Bowl. And I think that if you look at the landscape with Dallas being 4-1 right now, regardless of the outcome of this weekend's game, we got 4 wins already. And I think that if we can go ahead and get to 11 wins and get you like a locked in and playoffs. But if we win the division, I believe it's number 1 overall seeding. So whatever we can do to add to this team, whether that's go get DJ Moore, I hear they're having a fire sale in Carolina, or maybe even sign an OBJ. I'm not sure who it is, what it is. Maybe it's a defensive tackle out there that's angry. Roquan Smith was looking for a trade earlier in the offseason. Whatever we can do to go out here and push this team over the top, this is the time to go write the check. And we can't say that it's not because we don't have the financial means, because we have about $15 to $17 million in open cap space. And judging from Stephen Jones' own words, he said that they have that money. They can obviously roll it over to next year for the salary cap and use it to sign players then, but they can also use it to go for it right now. See, and I believe if you roll the money over to next year, that's sacrificing an opportunity to win a championship this year for the future when we have a real opportunity this year. I think that the money will take care of itself. We've seen them do it time and time again. Extend this player,
reconstruct.
reconstruct someone else's contract. So there's several ways for them to get the money done. Whatever the money that we have right now, whatever assets that we have right now, this is the time to use them to go out there and improve our team so that we can make a real championship run.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see with DJ Moore, what happens with him and what he garners on the on the market with trade value, because it definitely is a guy. Um, lots of talent, lots of talent. So
Yeah,
depending on, I know the Cowboys are pretty reluctant to trade with draft picks just because they do have some success in the draft. But I am in agreement, man. At some point, you got to go for it and stop talking about the future. Future. I don't want you to just mortgage the future and forget about it. But at the same time, you got to go for it at some point.
absolutely.
So, no, I agree. That would be amazing. The list of names. I'd be interested. I'll probably look into that, just see who else is out there. Um, maybe people keep it under wraps of who they looking to move until they get close to the trade deadline. But I definitely am in agreement with, at some point you kind of got to go for it. You got a good team. You don't keep squads like this together forever, right? People are going to need to start getting paid at some point, and then you're going to have to break it up
Mm-hmm.
and replenish with the draft. You know what I mean? So at some point when you get these guys together, you gotta capitalize, and that's something I don't think we've done. And I mean, obviously we haven't done in the past. I'm not even talking about Super Bowls, but just a deep push in the playoffs.
Right.
We haven't even accomplished that. So man, if we were to add, something like that, a DJ Moore, depending on what they, are looking for in return. But you know how I would feel for us to stand pat and they give us. I can't beat up. Hey man, I'm gonna have to pump the brakes on the front office right now in terms of their decisions panning out for them. So they get to put that in our face a little bit.
I
But
mean, not when it's by accident.
yeah,
You
yeah,
you
but it
you
yeah.
tried to sign Randy Gregory.
Yeah.
You
And
dodged
Dorrance
the you,
Armstrong just so happened to like start balling.
well, Dorrance had already been bubbling before now.
Yeah. But hey, he in his contract year, ain't he?
Get paid, young man. Get
And we
paid.
always talk about that. Ain't no motivation like getting paid. Now he out here looking like he trying to go to the Pro Bowl. You
Right.
know what I mean? So, um, yeah, that would be interesting to see how they juggle that. They kind of stingy with the picks, but I would love to see them, go for it a little bit more, make that push. So I know we, obviously talking about Philly with their offense. I did want to just kind of talk about what we're dealing with their offensive firepower, the makeup of that side of the ball before we go over their defense and see what we got to contend with defensively from our side of the ball. So offensively, obviously it kind of starts with the number one running game in the league right now. And that's, coming from the quarterback position as well as the running back position. So they also obviously have Jalen Hurts. One thing they do is they keep a really good offensive line, and so they've been kind of using the different running backs, but Miles Sanders kind of leads that backfield, and then they got some weapons on the outside with AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. So one thing that's kind of sticking out in my mind, obviously we like to get after the passer, is what you mentioned, preluding the Giants game with Daniel Jones' ability to kind of take off. So what do you think are some ways with the spy or controlled rush, not trying to get up the field so much? What are some of the things you like to see for us to be successful to containing Jalen Hurts? Because that's obviously where it starts.
I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth, man. I wrote that down. Jalen Hurts, contain Jalen Hurts. I mean, it's 4 touchdowns on the year passing,
Mm-hmm.
2 interceptions,
Yeah.
but he has 6 rushing touchdowns.
Oh, he pulling it every time with the read option near the goal line. He trying to
Absolutely.
eat. Yeah.
And they run quarterback sneaks. So two of his
Yeah.
two of his touchdowns last week were quarterback sneaks. But
Yeah.
nonetheless, I mean, they use him in the run game in the red zone. But I think the number one thing is actually containing him in the pocket. And when I say
Mm-hmm.
contain him in the pocket, still flush him around the edges. I never want to tell Michael or DeMarcus or
Sure.
Dorrance to slow rush or no, go full speed after him. Go try to get him. What we need to do is we need to get better at defensive tackle. We need to be able to push that pocket and hold that man steady, so that when our dogs get around that edge and flush him
Sure.
out that pocket, that we or flush him to force him to step up in the pocket, that they
Right.
can come up there and clean up. And if nothing else is there, they keep that wall there so he can't get out. And then obviously you need a spy. And I think
Yeah.
that if we can be strong enough in the middle when we're pushing back to keep him from stepping up and running, I think that we can put my boy Donovan Wilson over there.
Donovan. Absolutely.
And then you can go ahead and you can keep Mike at a position where he can continue to rush the passer. I'm not sure yet. What's the rookie that's coming back? I'm not sure if he's active this week. Damone, I don't think he's active this week, right?
Damone Clark, nah, they're gonna
Yeah,
they
yeah,
gonna slow roll him.
yeah. So I mean,
He's in his 21-day activation window, so we'll see. They may, who knows.
but this
They may
really is a game that I think that maybe we need to use Micah at linebacker. I was just watching their game, the Eagles game from last week, and they do a lot of like raise up and throw it directly to the tight end.
tight end screens.
Yeah, like tight end screens or direct.
Yeah.
Some of them are screens, or some of them are just hey, they see the defense is backing off or is playing soft, and they just boom hit them real quick. But Dallas Goedert, and he's a big guy, so you got to
Yeah.
tackle. So to have somebody like Micah as an option, if that's something that's burning us to use, I think that'd be great. But I think I'm confident. I am confident.
Yeah.
I thought about this a lot, Ryan. I know I said, man, I got this name. I want to call it Eagles. I want to call them the E-Girls. The E-Girls. I saw somebody say Sheagles. They were like, hey, the Sheagles. And I was like, that's kind of whack. And I was like, man, I'm going to go with the E-Girls. And then I thought,
mm-hmm.
That's not very nice to women. Because to compare the Eagles to a woman is to basically call her out her name, right? So I'm an all-inclusive.
We got more respect in that.
More respect for women to associate them with the Eagles franchise. Yeah. So from this point on, will not say the name of this team that we're going to play. They are the team that shall remain nameless. So I will refer.
The Philadelphia football team.
I'm gonna call them. Okay. Oh boy, them.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for this game, Ryan. I know we're gonna get after the passer. Cowboys. I mean, obviously I'm a homer. I'm looking at this. I don't see how the Cowboys lose, and I don't think that Philly is as good as. I don't think that they are as good as people make them out to be, in my humble opinion.
We'll see. Kind of alluding to the containing Jalen real quick as we finish that up. I'd like to see Donovan kind of, obviously that job is a team responsibility, but as if he tries to get loose, I'd like to see Donovan kind of spying him. Micah, I know you said at linebacker, but you got to kind of remember he is coming off that groin injury where he said I can rush, but I can't really run around. Mm-hmm. So, I'm not sure how mobile he is with playing that backer spy position. But for whatever reason, maybe not so much lateral. They could just kind of go forward and bend. He feels more comfortable doing that. So I wouldn't be surprised if they use one of those safeties. But especially I think out of those three safeties, Donovan Wilson will get the first shot with his open field tackling. It's been great this year. So that'll be interesting to see, man. That's definitely a luxury of having those three safeties and having to pick. Speaking of the safeties, I was listening to and I know these national pundits don't quite cover the team as much as like a local reporter,
right?
But man, I think I kind of stopped watching it. I do watch like Shannon, hear what he has to say because he still knows what he's talking about. I came across like Chris Sims breaking down the game and breaking down the defense. He was actually giving the defense props and was saying our defense, and was saying like the D line and the front seven, they're elite. He was like, if I had one weak spot on the team, I'd say it's the safeties. And I was like, what?
What do you mean by that?
Like, I feel like the safety group is one of the a strength and one of the better groups in the league. It's like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, you just say you don't really know what you're talking about, or you just kind of they're not huge household names that you just can get that off. But I was like, bro, you don't know what you're talking about. Like everything else you just said is just like kind of void, except for the obvious that they get after the pass are crazy. So you said the front seven is elite.
Mm.
But yeah, man. So again, I guess I don't expect them to know every player through and through, but it's like, yeah, that was a bold statement to not know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna have to
mean,
send you the clip.
yeah, you got to send me that because I think he's pretty good. Most of the times when I watch him and do his breakdowns, because he's really knowledgeable. Obviously, he's a little biased toward the 49ers because him and Kyle Shanahan used to be roommates, and
Mm.
he has like all the inside information on the San Francisco. But I mean,
Where were him and Kyle roommates?
in college at Texas, UT.
Oh, I didn't know Kyle Shanahan went to UT.
Yeah, he went to UT. He was a receiver.
That's news to me. I did not know that.
News you can use with
Yeah, I
which
did not know that.
yeah. The
Wow. I
SportsAttic.
mean,
We
that
breaking
means
news.
that means I definitely watched him then. He ain't play?
No.
Okay. That's
His
what's up.
dad was Mike Shanahan, coaching the NFL at the time. So
Got you. Okay.
yeah,
Well, look at
so
that.
yeah, you learn something
Appreciate
new
the
every
info.
day.
You
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
What
I'm
else
a
you learned today?
What else I learned today? I
Yeah.
learned that Philadelphia's defense
Hmm.
is gonna be a tough test for our offense.
I ain't learned that today.
You didn't learn that today?
I learned that I could have told you that a week or two ago, 3 weeks ago.
So how do you think the Cowboys attack the Eagles on offense? Or attack the Eagles defense offensively? Am I saying that right?
Uh, I get what you're saying. I get the
All right.
gist. With the run game, I'd like to see us attack not like when I say a boundary, I'm not talking about like pitches to Zeke. I really don't want to see that. But more
Why you
like
don't want to see the picture to Zeke, bro?
I just don't think that's his
The
game.
Zeke slander has to stop.
It's not slander. I just don't think that's game. But I kind of want to see us run more to the boundary, like come maybe off the right hip of Zach Martin, or towards our tight ends. Our little rookie tight ends been hooping, sealing the edge. I just think I'm not sure. Jordan Davis is gonna go be lined up over Biotish, and that ain't gonna be an easy task.
Mm,
Um, so you got Jordan Davis in the middle. You got Fletcher Cox. You got
mm-hmm,
Jason Hargraves. I just think
mm.
the strength of the defense is right down the middle. So I'd like to see us kind of hit the boundary, towards Tyler Smith, towards hopefully Jason Peters, towards, so to the outside gap of the guard, and towards them tackles. That's why I would like to see the run game. Uh, More third down conversions that will be big to help give our defense a chance, man, to get some rest.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, people lean on a talented group like that. Of course, we're gonna lean on them, but give them some more rest, man. I saw the stats. Our third down efficiency and percentage is going down in each of the last 4 weeks.
I saw that.
Yeah, and so obviously that's kind of alarming. So that obviously will be a big part of the game is our third down conversions. Just getting a little bit, I think we were like 10% last week. I could be wrong, but kind of getting back to a better flow, converting on third downs. Again, I don't expect us to light it up, but a consistent run game and converting a few more third downs.
But let me poke in on
What
that
do you mean by that?
exact stat. The Philadelphia Eagles have given up this year to opponents on third down 29 conversions on 64 attempts, which turns into about 45% success rate that they're giving up. And
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty much almost 50%. That's a great rate. That's not good for the Eagles.
Sure.
That means that teams are having success on third downs. And I think that with us having struggles on third down with our backup quarterback, Cooper Rush in there, I think that this will give us opportunity to be able to convert. And then, speaking of third down conversions, that's why a guy like Ezekiel Elliott is going to be very key to this game because the type of running back that he is, he keeps us on schedule. And he
Yeah.
keeps us into third and shorts. And then I think that Cooper Rush will be able to handle third and shorts better than he would be these third and longs. I think Dak Prescott, had he been available, or if he is available, is better suited to handle more of the third and longs situations or us being behind. I think with Cooper Rush, we have to win in a certain way, controlling the clock, clock,
Sure.
excuse me, is going to be a big thing, and I think Zeke is a big part of that. And I know you just named all these good guys that these guys that this team
The
that we're
Eagles.
about to
Oh,
play.
my bad.
Yeah, this team that we're about to play has on their defense. Is Jordan Davis is a rookie, right?
He's a rookie.
Okay, and everybody else was there last year
Yeah, very familiar names up front.
on the defensive line. Everybody's there
Yeah,
from last year.
pretty much. They have some guy that I named that I didn't recognize who actually has 4.5 sacks. So
Is it a different defensive coordinator?
I think it's a linebacker that's coming off the edge, but
Is it? Do they have a different defensive coordinator?
that I don't know. But they do have new secondary members for sure.
Yeah, well, the secondary don't help with these stats I'm about to rattle off.
Go ahead.
Last year in 2 games, Zeke had 17 carries for 95 yards and 2 touchdowns,
Mm-hmm.
a 5.6 carry,
Mm-hmm.
5.6 per average carry.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
That's very good.
That's one game.
Mm-hmm.
His second game, he had 18 carries for 87 yards. No touchdowns, but in that game, Dak threw for 5 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't many rushing touchdowns to be had that game. And we put up 41 points on them. So obviously that made some changes to the secondary. Darius Slay was there. I know that they got the guard dude from over in what's the Saints?
Yeah, Gardner Johnson.
Yeah, Gardner Johnson. But also Pollard
And they
played
got
in that
James Bradbury.
and in that first game where Zeke had 17 carries for 95 yards and 2 touchdowns, Pollard carried the ball 11 times for 60 yards. So I don't know if it's Jordan Davis because the real additions that the team that we're playing this weekend, the real additions that they have are in the secondary, and the only real addition is in the front seven is Jordan Davis, and we'll see if he's that good. But you know, I just read off these rushing stats, and it didn't look like they stopped us running the ball at all last year, and I don't see them doing that this year.
Well, I will say our makeup is a lot different. Last year, we did have the number one statistically scoring offense in the league, so he had a lot of weapons on the outside. Couldn't load the box up. We just look a lot different this year. So we will have to see. That's fair from last year, but the makeup of our team and the scheme is different. Obviously, we don't even have that, but we had receivers that you really had to respect on the outside, so you couldn't load the box, and so success. So we'll see if that carries over until Sunday, but the makeup is different.
Yeah, I mean the makeup is different, but I don't think that we need to put up 40 points to beat them.
Neither do I. Our
That's
defense
that's
wasn't the
that.
same
Yeah, exactly. That's the
either.
thing.
Yeah.
So, and I know Hurts actually threw for over 300 yards in the first game that he played. He didn't play the second game because at that point in time, the division was decided, and I think the team that we're playing this weekend decided to rest their
You should
players.
put $1 in the cup.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm gonna get better at this, guys. And I'm not gonna say the name, but I don't know, man. I just think that we're gonna be able to run the ball. I think that we're gonna be able to convert on third downs with Cooper Rush against this team that we're playing. I think that CeeDee Lamb is gonna be able to get open some kind of way, or at least schemed open by Kellen Moore. And I think the Cowboys dominate this game. I think that the Cowboys are a good team.
Dominate.
I think they're gonna dominate. I think the Cowboys win by 10 points.
Wow. Okay. What's
I
the score with that?
27-17.
I really like to hear from Dez on this matter.
I'm glad you said that, Ryan.
I'd like to hear from Dez on this matter. What'd he say?
$20,000 bet with Meek Mill.
Ooh.
Then he matched the 20,000 and put the other 20,000 on the money line in Dallas in Vegas.
I've told Trey offline I really ain't seen Dez be wrong yet. And I could be wrong about that, but I told him, like, of course people gonna be like, he played for the team, he's a homer, he's biased, of course. But I feel like when he don't think we're gonna win, he just don't say anything.
Right.
He just don't say nothing.
And
He
I
just
don't
be
think that
like,
he'll
"Go
waste.
Cowboys."
And I
He
don't
just be
think
like
he'll waste $20,000
20
or
racks. He
40
just
or
be like, "Go
40,000 or
Cowboys, let's
40,000
go."
because the
Yeah.
Cowboys are 5-point underdogs in this game.
Wow.
So when he betted on the money line against an MGM, it's some extra juice on that. That 20,000 gonna come back more than 20,000.
Yeah, Cowboys plus 5.5.
Yeah, I don't
Or
even
plus
know
is
what
it or
the.
6? Or is it 6?
Let's find out.
Wow.
Yeah, Dez is going with 6.5.
6.5.
Oh, I need to update my picks. Oh, I need to update. Oh, I need to
Don't do
update.
it. Don't do it.
Oh,
We
I
said we
need
was
to.
gonna leave the Cowboys out of the Sunday parlay of the days.
This the lock of the week right here.
Oh,
Cowboys
come on, bro.
lock of the week. I'm telling you, 6.5 points. Boy,
Six
yeah,
and a half points.
disrespectful that is. Who are the Eagles? Who are the Eagles beat? Hold on. Educate me. Tell me something that I need to know.
I think it's Washington, Detroit.
Oh, Washington just scored 2 points tonight against the Bears on national TV.
It's Jacksonville.
Oh, Jacksonville trash.
I had it written down. Hold on. I got the other.
Are you serious? 6.5-point favorites? That is literally.
Arizona and Detroit.
Has Arizona won a game this year?
They have.
Has
I
Detroit
get the
won a
point. I
game this
told
year?
you they haven't had the biggest.
Has Detroit won a game this year?
They have.
Has Detroit won 2 games this year?
They have.
I don't know. Let me see.
Pretty sure they have. I'm pretty sure they're 2-3.
You said they beat Arizona.
Detroit.
Detroit is 1-4. Arizona is they're 1-4. Arizona is 2-3. Washington is 2-4. And who else did you say they beat?
I forget.
Jacksonville.
Yeah, they didn't have the most impressive.
Jacksonville is 2-3. They haven't beat a team with a winning record, Ryan.
Hey man, you can only beat who's in front of you.
And they 7-point favorites against us.
Yeah.
I don't care if Cooper Rush playing. And he didn't look that good last week. He didn't look that good.
No.
That's why we can't get on the show today saying, "Hey, it's a quarterback controversy." Obviously, it's Dax when he get back. But 6.5 points. Come on,
6.5 points.
No, that's cap. That's
cap.
Say this is not a part of our parlay picks, parlay play of the day with Ryan and Trey. But I'm telling you, go right now and put your money down under. Take the 6.5 points. Take it. If you don't feel adventurous, I think the Cowboys gonna win this game by 10 points.
You saying money line?
Yeah, I would bet it on the money line. I'm more adventurous. I think this is a 10-point win by the Cowboys easy. That's what I think.
Ain't the Mavericks.
We talk about the Mavericks next week.
Yeah.
Season opener in Phoenix. Yeah, we're gonna get another W.
Okay.
Yeah. But back to the Cowboys. Seriously, 10-point win, but the lock of the week is the Cowboys plus 6.5. That's a lock of the week. That's free. That's a bonus. Take it to the bank right now. 6.5. Boy, I ain't know that. Oh yeah. So my Cowboy prediction: Cowboys 27. The team that we playing this week, 17 points.
This will be the game that either is going to sway me going forward of what I really think of this team. It's going to sway my predictions going forward.
Of what team? The Eagles or the Cowboys?
The Cowboys. How they look going forward will be predicated. What I think of them going forward will be predicated off this game. If the Cowboys go out there and beat the Eagles, well, they're at full strength. They are at full strength. And they go out there and beat them with Cooper Rush. I'm gonna still try to keep, my my expectations of them tempered. But wow, man, that's really gonna be impressive. Dez is swaying me, but I went into the week. I think the Cowboys lose a close one. I think we lose in the mode of 23-17 on the road in Link. That's not terrible on the road with your backup quarterback. 23-17. I can see Coop making his first mistake of the season,
Making a
uh,
turnover.
making a turnover, which is that's the best thing he's done is play turnover free ball. That
Mm-hmm.
keeps you in the game at all times. He hasn't had to light it up. He has not had to go crazy, but he has not turned the ball over. But I can see a turnover. Um, Again, hopefully we can. I would love to see us convert more on third downs to keep the defense off the field. But if we're not successful moving the ball and coming off the field 3-and-outs, I do think eventually, and still with that, high power offense that the Eagles have, holding them to 23 points would be a statement in itself. So again, if they prove me wrong and they go out there and beat the Eagles on the road, primetime game with Cooper Rush, that will change and sway my opinion, turn that dial a little bit of my expectations of the Cowboys. And what, but that's the thing I hate to do with Cowboys and the expectations. Going forward, you got an expectation of standard,
Right.
and that in the past has not kind of been consistent.
Now let me ask you this: if the Cowboys were at full strength, if Dak was going to play this weekend, would that have changed your opinion, or would you still have went with the team that we're playing this weekend?
It depends. It does depend because if Dak was healthy, we would probably still be. That was like a blessing in disguise that unfortunately got hurt, but it showed the identity of the team. And when he gets back, he's going to be able to do that, but just take it up a little bit. Not like you mentioned, if it's third and long, or if we're losing, he has a greater chance to win.
Mm-hmm.
To bring us back and to be successful. But I think it's no question they not going to come out here and now everything spread out and we chucking it all over the field 40 times. That is a blessing. So I don't know. Even if Dak playing, I don't know if we're still playing that way where he's trying to throw it everywhere, patting the ball. You know what I'm saying? The need at receiver becomes more apparent when you do that. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? So I don't know, but I do feel better going forward when Dak comes back playing in that mode. Kind of what we've been asking for a long time, going back to that 2016 style.
Right.
I think we'll see that, and I feel better about that going forward than I did prior. Kellen,
Okay.
going crazy, triple reverses.
Okay. So I have the Cowboys winning 27-17, and Ryan has the Cowboys falling to the team that shall remain nameless,
Uh-huh.
23-17.
Correct.
Now, I did say that the Cowboys were a lock of the week.
Mm-hmm.
With that plus 6.5 that we just
Yep.
discovered. But
Yep.
even if they choose, even if you're right, the lock of
Mm-hmm.
the week still hits.
It still hits. That
It's
line
it
might
still
move.
hits.
So mind you guys, it's 6.5 as of right now while we're recording. That line might move. So we locking it in. We talking about it at 6.5 right
We're
now.
only responsible for what the line
That's a
is at
fact.
the time of taping.
That's a
At the
fact.
time of
So
taping.
so take that into account.
But speaking of lock of the week,
Mm-hmm.
parlays, picks, gambling, watching football on Sundays. It is my favorite time of the week. It is parlay play of the day
Of the
with
day.
Ryan and Trey. And
Bow.
I think this week we got some good ones. I think my record was horrible last week. I went 0. Oh no, that was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, because last week I was 100%. You guys got to trust me on that. I was 4-0 last week, and this week my picks are as is. So my first pick of the week is going to be the Chargers to cover the 4.5 point spread against the Broncos. The Chargers. Uh, the Chargers, I think, are just a better team. I think that Russell Wilson, who I thought was going to be one of the better quarterbacks in that division, and I was obviously wrong. I think he's probably the worst quarterback in that division, and I think the Chargers roll easy. One of the game of the week that everybody's going to be watching this weekend is going to be the Bills and Chiefs. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and go roll with the Bills. So I'm going to take the Bills minus 2.5. The
Yep.
Chiefs. The Chiefs are a really good team, Ryan, but I think that Vegas overvalues them, and
Yeah.
or either the public overvalues them because they are actually like 1-3 against the spread this year, 1-3-1. So
Yep.
they're not a really good covering team. And when I look at the Bills and I look at the Chiefs, I think that the Bills are just a better team. When you look
Mm-hmm.
at the complete team, the defense that they can play, they have a top defense, and obviously that offense can move the ball. So I got Bills minus 2.5. Um, Now I'm getting to something that I never really do, and that is actually bet on the Jets. The Jets are plus 7.5 points this weekend against the Packers. The Packers kind of burned me a couple weeks ago when I took the
Yeah,
Packers minus 9.5 with that big point spread. But the Jets are 4-1 against the point spread this year. They're only 3-2 as a team, but they're 4-1 against the point spread. This is picking the point spread. 4-1. It's a great record. I'm taking the Jets plus 7.5. And speaking of teams that are achieving against the point spread, I'm going to go ahead and rock with the Colts this weekend. They're taking on who are the Colts playing? The Colts are playing
Jacksonville.
the Jacksonville Jaguars. So the Colts are favored by 2 points against the Jaguars at home, but they are the only team in the NFL that is undefeated against the point spread.
I
They're
like
actually
it.
they're actually 4-0-1. So even the time that they didn't fully cover, they pushed. So the Colts -2 this weekend. So my a rundown of my four picks: Chargers -4, Bills -2.5, Jets plus 7.5, Colts -2.
Like it. I like it. I like it. Gunshots. All right, let's run through mine. Uh, I have a similar pick as Trey. I'm taking the Bills over Kansas City. I think they said this is the first time that Patrick Mahomes is an underdog at home. But hey, a lot changes when you lose a weapon like Tyreek Hill, even though they're
Mm-hmm.
still doing well. But that is a huge difference. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? But so I got the Bills, and they're obviously playing well on both sides of the ball. It's a high powered offense. But I think that defense has a better chance to contain Kansas City than vice versa. I am going to go with the Bucks -8 versus Pittsburgh. I think the Bucks are finally getting their weapons back in tow. Chris Godwin is kind of ramping up from his injury, so I think you'll see him kind of get going. Pittsburgh's kind of finding themselves kind of going to the rookie quarterback, and when that happens, he starts to find his new weapons. You kind of see him go to George Pickens a lot, but I think just the Bucks defense. I think they'll force Pickens into quite a few turnovers this game. That's one of the best units in the league, and so I don't think a rookie running quarterback is going to be too successful. So I got Bucks -8. I got Ravens -5.5 versus the Giants. I did kind of go back and forth with this. Giants can be resilient, but I think they're kind of overachieving at the moment. I think the Ravens bring Daniel Jones and company back down to earth. Well, more so their offense than their defense. The Ravens don't have that defense that you kind of accustomed to in years past. But I do think they're getting a little healthier in the secondary. They got Marlon Humphrey back. They got Marcus Peters back. So obviously there's going to be a big emphasis on Saquon. He's going to get his. He's going to make his plays. But I don't think they got anything to slow down Lamar. So give me the Ravens -5.5. And Trey almost made me change my mind just now. But so this is going to be our battle going against each other. I do have the Jags +2 versus the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely was kind of up in the air about that. Um, we will see. Jonathan Taylor should be back. So I will be kind of tracking his injury report, see how he's looking. But I'm going to take the Jags trying to rebound +2 versus the Colts. So just to recap, I got Bills -2.5 versus Kansas City. I got the Bucks -8 versus Pittsburgh. I got the Jacksonville Jaguars +2 versus the Colts. And to finish it off, I got the Ravens -5.5 versus the Giants.
Yeah, that's a nice pick, and you can really take Ryan's picks and my pick
And merge them.
and merge them together and put one unit on it and have a really good weekend. But Ryan, I actually you said that I almost changed your mind with that coach pick. I mean, that's actually me picking with my head and not my heart,
Yeah.
or going with the analytics over my mental because I really looked at it and I think that the Colts suck. I told you that last week, but they ended up or last time that our viewers saw us.
And
Uh,
oh yeah.
and they ended up covering. So,
Yeah.
but they look pathetic. I watched them last week. I don't know, man, but we'll see. I
We're gonna
think the
see.
numbers say that they haven't lost on the spread. So I'm gonna rock with it.
Close us out. It's Eagles week.
Eagles
It's
week.
Eagles week. Even though I said my prediction, you know where my heart's gonna be,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all that matters. You know where my heart's gonna be with
I
Charlie
am not.
Steele.
I am not going to judge you, Ryan,
I
for
appreciate it.
going against the Cowboys.
I appreciate it.
I am not.
I'm
We
not.
are
I'm
friends.
not
We
going
have been
against them.
friends. We have been friends for way too long for me to let a game come between our
Yeah,
friendship. I
yeah,
have
yeah,
your
yeah. I
back.
appreciate that.
I have your back in every situation.
I appreciate that. I
But,
appreciate that.
but,
Okay.
but,
Okay. Yeah.
I'm rooting for you to be wrong this weekend on this
I'm
game.
rooting for myself to be wrong. That's a
And
fact.
and if you are wrong, I am going to tell you on this show.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Okay, yeah.
I'll sit back and give you a monologue. I promise.
No,
I
it won't be a
promise.
monologue. You my dog. I ain't
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
do
yeah.
you. I ain't gonna do you like you did me on fantasy game.
Hey man, you had fantasy monologues the past 4 weeks, so you had to get that one. You had to get that one, man. But we appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. We can't wait to tap in with y'all Sunday night. We're gonna try our best. We're gonna try our best, and me and Trey gonna talk about it. Try our best to possibly, man. No promises. Maybe a live episode after the game.
Yeah, that I think that's the best way to do it. We're gonna do it live. So if you subscribe to us, you'll obviously get an alert that we're live. But if you're seeing this video on any platform,
Yeah,
do us a
tap in
favor.
with us.
Do us a favor. Go to YouTube, follow the link to YouTube, and subscribe. And
Trying to go
when you
live.
subscribe, we're trying to go live.
We trying to
Hey,
go live. Man, we
yeah.
need y'all tapping in. Either we talk, we going crazy, talking about them Cowboys looking amazing, or we talking about what we need to do to get better. One or the other. One or the other.
Or we going in on the front
But we
office,
here for you.
or
We
the
here for you either
quarterback,
way.
or the running
Yeah.
back, or the defense. Whatever we need to do, we're gonna do it when it's time to get done. So
We here for you.
yeah, follow us, like, subscribe, man. Thank y'all for listening. We out.
We out. I gotta have a cool little out like
I be thinking about that. My bad. I be thinking about that too. Like I got to do some more cooler.
where the new dance at now? This used to be the
I don't even know. I gotta ask Connor. Connor, them kids be knowing. Bryce probably know. Where is Bryce?
ain't it the sturdy?
Oh, they doing this.
Nah, that's old now.
Nah, they still do it every weekend. Every weekend I see
I
them.
mean, they still do it. They should stop
Oh, they
doing
do
it though.
this. Oh, that.
That's over with too. It
When
didn't
that?
catch on.
When
It
did
didn't
that
catch on
end?
like I. It didn't catch on like I thought it would.
Nah, they doing it. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it when they do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they need to do something else.
yeah,
That's what we need to
yeah.
do is figure out a dance.